Hello, this is Steve with Taking It Slow. Today I'm going to do some work on my captain chairs for my rig. This is the arms. And if you look here, you can see the padding is now over on the side of the arm versus being on the top. If you look at this part right here, that's a solid board. So when you're driving down the road, when you're looking for a cushy place for your arm, you're actually not, because the pad has found its way. It's down over on this side here. So we're going to pull this apart and go ahead and see what's wrong with the foam, get it repaired, and we'll put her back together. So to do this, we have to come behind, and there'll be a zipper back here. So you have to find the end of the zipper, which just happens to be on the other side, and we'll open it up. We can then pull this apart. This might need some light. Pull this over here, and you're not going to see anything here. Well, there's a plastic clip that's inside of this, and the plastic clip looks like this. And it's actually in there. Actually that way. Had to think for a second. Whoops. Correction. It's in here this way. So we're going to come in from underneath here. Grab the lip. There's a lip on this. And we're going to pull that down. When we pull that down, then we'll be able to get this, remove it. So it's going to take two hands for me to do this. And so I'll come back. But what you're going to come in from is under the bottom here. There's a notch where you can come in with your screwdriver, grab it, and pry it out of the way. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be come back. Okay, so I've got it started pried. You can see it right here. So now I'm just going to, and what you need to do is come in with a screwdriver on this side. Sorry. And then get it started, and this will pull right out. And there it is. So we'll lay that down. Once that's done, the arm still ain't going to move by itself. But if you raise it and rock it past center, see if I can get this. Yep, there it goes. And it falls off. And there's a pin down here that it had to get around it. So that's what it takes to get that off. So as you can see, it's off. And this place does take two hands, because we have to slide this off. And my wife is going to come over and give me a hand. She's just simply going to grab the end, and we'll slide it right off. And it's off. So now we can see what's going on with all the padding in here. Nothing, is where it needs to be. That comes off. Here's the pad. It should have been on top of the board. And it's kind of twisted. So we need to get that fixed. But I don't know what kind of glue they used to try to hold this together. But it doesn't hold it together. And it's at the bottom, actually, the glue did try to hold there, but it tore the foam. Tore the foam here. So get this plastic out of the way. So now what we'll do is go ahead, and we're going to get all this thing pulled apart as being as much as it needed to be. If it's just barely holding on, then I'm going to go ahead and I pulled it off. So now we got it there. rotate it around. Got contact cement, and go ahead and start spraying glue on all this stuff and make it stay where it needs to be. So what I'll end up doing is putting, because there's the foam piece, this is the bottom where it lays there, that is the seam. So I'm going to go ahead and spray here and here with the contact cement on the top let it tack up, and we'll put this back together. The thing to take in mind with contact cement, if you get the good stuff, and I'm going to spray this on both sides, which gives it the strongest bond. Spray both sides, let it tack up really well. You put this together. Once you put it together, if it's good contact cement, it's there and it's not going to come apart. The foam is going to rip before it'll ever come apart. So again, it's just a matter of putting a good bead, along here and here for this one first. This is the first piece I'm going to do, making sure it's exactly where it needs to be. We'll get it perfectly flat. Once we have that, I can roll over, and then we will come into this side, pull this back, spray this part of the foam. That foam will be up on there. We'll spray this one again, and let them tack up really well, and then place it together, and it's a one time. And on this I'll have to do it in sections, because you got to hold this apart, and because it wants to curl underneath here, there's no way to keep this away from here unless you hold it. So I'm going to go ahead and spray a small section, whatever I can hold. Spray this, spray that, let them tack up, put it together, move down, do the same thing. I'll spray here, spray on this, let it cure up, and then put it down. So we'll go ahead and go outside, and we'll get this thing rolling and doing this. I'll be right back. Okay, we're outside now. This might see better. What I found is this Gorilla Contact Adhesive, the Alta, and one of the key things I found was it handles foam. Where was it? Foam right there. This one didn't have any asterisks on it, but even so, before I did the first one, because this is the second one, I tested it on the foam. I tried on a piece of this foam. Actually, I sprayed on the very end, let it cure up, and I tried this other foam, which is this thin. I sprayed on these guys, on these foams, and let that cure up to see if it'll do it. Because some glues, their own chemicals, actually will eat or actually melt the foam. So you want to make sure that it doesn't do that, destroy it, or you just got to go find the right stuff. So here's what we have on this. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up so that I can go in. I want to spray the very top of this, look at 2x2. And I also want to spray the same thing on this, and we'll let them tack up. Go ahead and get this cap off. Shake the can up. Now in this also, see if you can get a focus. You have a L, M, and H. I've been using the medium for it, and the tip has a different fan patterns depending on which way you want the pattern to be. It's got a slit in it, so it's again just figure out what works for you. Go ahead and get this can shaken up really well. Okay, let's see if I can do this. So that looks to be good. Let's see if I can get this foam to stay over for me. This I'm going to take 2 hands, so I'll come back. Okay, so now I've sprayed it, and you have to wait for it to tack up really good. Again, read the instructions, it's the best way. So I went ahead and I sprayed underneath this part, and you saw me do this part here. And since I was doing this, I went ahead and sprayed, a part in here too. I sprayed the wood, sprayed that part, and I sprayed both parts of the foam. So I'm going to go ahead and get this can out of the way, and we'll put this back together. So I had to put it down, so I can get my hands. So again, I'm going to make sure this is lined up right here, which it is. Pull that over, get it all lined up. Get it pushed into there really well. Now between this and this, it's not going to hold anything because that's a gap in between. It's only metal, and it's not solid on the bottom. So it's just here, you're going to be able to glue it and to the foam. So we're just going to get this together. So we got that one. Okay. Now in this one here, this is curled up, so it's going to fight me a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up and move it around and get it down where it needs to be, right there. And just carefully move it down. Don't let your other end touch while you're putting it back together. Yep, I'm in an RV park, and there's a playground not too far from me. Kids are absolutely adoring playing out there. And if you're like me, love hearing kids out having fun like that. So we got that part down. So now what I want to do is I want to fix this other little piece over here, and we'll get these things glued together. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll get this going here. I'll spread it apart, put the glue in there, let it tack up, and we'll move on. Again, I'll have to do this at a section, because you can see as soon as I let go of it, it closes up. So I'm going to pull this back, spray both sides. I'm going to let it tack up. I'll close it. I'll move down, do the same thing. Spray both sides, let them tack up, and I'll do this whole thing, and then we'll come back. Okay, so now we've got that's put back together on that side. So now we'll do this one. It's going to be a lot easier because it is a full panel. And I'm just going to lay it on there to make sure I know exactly where it's supposed to set. Because I do have this one little piece of foam here, but it is notched, because this is simply the adjustment wheel which controls the height this arm is in the rig. When it's down, when you're driving, you can control the arm to make it higher or lower, so it's whatever comfortable for you. And this little wheel here does just that. Raise the arm up, twist it, put it down. If you've done it in the wrong direction, turn it in the other direction, and you can get these things to lay perfectly. So now I'm going to go ahead and we'll get this thing side glued up. And yes, the instructions did say use generously. So I would think that's generously. Sun's starting to go down out here also, so it's adding to the difficulty. So now we'll let this tack up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on pause. We'll come back. Not you don't want to sit here and the proverbial try to wait for water to boil. So it'll come back when it's tacked up. Okay, and again, of course, it takes 2 hands to do this, but you've seen me glue them. It's just a matter of putting this back on. One of the things I do is on this sheet here, I put it on the top block first, and then I pull it down tight just to try to keep this rubber from wanting to twist and go the wrong way. I pull it down tight, and then I lay this down to adhere to the rest of the wood, to the rest of the structure. Because you can see it wants to twist right here. This end is still, it wants to twist a little bit, but considering that's well past, because the back of the chair is actually in this area, your elbow's not going to be back there, or it shouldn't be impacted. So I've got this all glued back together. So now we'll go ahead, we'll take her back inside, and we'll go ahead and we'll put pull the sleeve back on. Because I did pull both of them apart, just make sure you put the right one on, because they got to have, your sleeves will have this hole in it. And we'll pull the sleeves on there, and then we'll get ready to put the locking block back on, or put these back on the chair, and then put the locking block on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pack up everything here. Go back inside, got a little more light, and we'll pick it up from there. Okay, we got it back in the house. This is the first one I did, because the glue has totally cured. I wanted to make sure of that before I was going to do anything else. So this one here sat around for like 30 minutes. So we'll go ahead and put the sleeve back on. Again, I'm getting help, because even by myself, I don't know if I'd be able to do this very easily. Pull up on the side here, hon. So anyway, we're going to slip this on. We'll come back. Okay, so we have it back on. I went ahead and put it fully back on. One of the things we did find, just slipping this on, it wants to twist. But I did find, even with it on, you can actually grab, pull the material, twist it around to the direction you need to have it to make it work. This is a slit I had mentioned. That wheel is up here, that when you turn it, will change how the arm will set. Because you may want the arm to set up a little higher when you're driving, or you may want it to set lower. And the wheel down here does just that. I went ahead and I did zip it up just to make sure there wouldn't be any issue. So I'll go ahead and unzip it, because I will be having to put the wedge block back in here. But the first phase is putting this, putting it back on the arm. So let me see here. Oh, there's with the light on, so that makes it a little bit better. We can see what's going on. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get this lined up. Okay, and we're looking right here, because there's the round part of the hole where my finger is. The notch is up here. So where the bar has to go, we'll have to line that up. So this part right here is where that bar will have to line up with. So, okay, and the bar is down here. So we'll line this up. We'll see how well this works. Got that in there. Get this thing to line up. Find the notch. Whoops. Okay, I just felt it slipped in. I'm going to pull it around. You can see it'll go all the way around the circle. But the key point is it won't come off now. So let me get this going. So then now the next part is to come back in the back here. Open that up. So we can go ahead and push this block back into here to lock all this together. So it's going to be important to get all the foam and everything else out of the way before we put this in there. And it's going to take two hands, so I'll come back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. So right there is the black box. Got it in there. It did fight with me a little bit. Once I had this arm over and had it pushed in, found out he had to go in a little bit farther with it before you rotated it. Once you do that, had to find the trick out. This box then just slips right in. So now with that, just go ahead and pull this around. And just like that, the arm is exactly the way it's supposed to have been. So I hope this was helpful. Got any comments or anything else, please let me know. Love to have feedback. It was the first experience for me, but definitely the difference between these things is night and day. Even from a different angle here, it's back. There's not movement on it. Should be great. So again, this is Steve with Taking It Slow. Any comments, any pointers, I'm always open to them. Sure, there was a better way of doing this than what I did it. But it worked. Got it back together. And I'm going to let the other one cure up. Give it a few more minutes. Put the sleeve back on and put that on. And it should be done. Have a great day. So I thought I'd just do one final shot. Showing both arms are back on. You remember what it looked like before. There they are. And that is now solid. So we'll just see how good the contact cement is I got. If it, it's Gorilla Ultra, so should do the job good. So just thought I'd show you 100% back together. Have a good one.